The 49ers defense was absolutely dominant against the New Orleans Saints. Not exactly a hot take, as they didn't score any points. Of course, the defense was very good, but I wanted to break down exactly what it was, how they were able to be so dominant, and what's the thing that you probably think I'm going to say if you're a fan of this channel and know how I view defense. It's coverage. If you can cover, opposing offenses are going to look bad. That's just the reality of the situation. And this is a great example where you see the passing concept on the screen. You also see it's zone coverage. It's quarters coverage that the 49ers are in. And this is just exactly what the 49ers do so effectively is they've run these zone coverages. A lot of these guys have ran basically the same coverage with the same players for several years. And you just get good at knowing how to do this stuff. I mean, yes, defensive coordinator has changed with Robert Saleh, but they've run a very similar concept most of the time. So obviously gone are the days of a team just having a base coverage, but they, for the most part, do their same kind of 2 or 3 coverages with a little bit of extra stuff sprinkled in. And it's effective because they're really good at it. You see the concept on the bottom of the screen. You have 3 receivers who are going to kind of run shallower routes, which you would think could be trouble. However, when Andy Dalton takes the snap, you're going to see that, San Francisco all over it. How are they so good at this? Well, it's pretty simple, actually, is they just know what kind of concepts can beat the coverage that they like to run, and they know the counters for those types of concepts. So the second they see, oh, this is what you're doing, they don't have to even think about, does my teammate know where he should be? Because, of course, you know your teammate is going to be where he should be because he's always where he should be because you've ran this play 1,000 times at this point. In fact, Dalton's even looking on the other side of the field, which, again, no separation there either. When you're in situations like this, the quarterback's going to be the one who gets the blame just because that's how we work. That's how this operates. We like to, simplify things as people, I don't know if you count me in the media, but if you do, us in the media and definitely the fans like to, get a little bit quarterback happy, which is fun. But the reality is, I don't even think this is bad play calling. It's a good play call. It's play call designed to beat the coverage they were going up against. So the play call was smart. Maybe a receiver could be getting more open, but again, I really think it's just good defense. I think that's what happened. Andy Dalton tries to scramble out and tries to make something work, but just again, defended pass there. Just really good stuff from San Francisco. And this was all game. This isn't one isolated play. This was constantly, while the Saints are trying to make something happen, trying to get something open, they just can't. This play was when New Orleans would win. This is the wins that New Orleans would get, and it kind of goes to show just how tough it is when the 49ers defense is on to play well against them, where, again, perfect concept designed to beat this coverage. In fact, this is something you see Kyle Shanahan himself love to run because of how good of a concept it typically is. You run a play action to your right, have the quarterback roll out towards the offense's left. You then have 3 eligible receivers who are going to end up going in that direction. So you get linebackers out of position. Really, a linebacker would probably have to pick up one of these routes. And so in doing that, typically it's going to be some, there's opportunity for someone to get open. Dalton takes a snap. Dalton is going to roll out, and it relatively works. The deeper shots aren't really open. Maybe you could try to sit and hope for something to happen with the middle route, but I think that really it was a corner, actually, for San Francisco who read this well and is covering the middle route. So at this point, it's the underneath route, that is kind of like, okay, if nothing gets open, throw it there, make some, get some yards. It's, that helps. Dalton does make this throw, but you're going to see an immediate tackle, and they just gained 2 yards on that play. That's a play that if you're a defense, you will take every single time. And if you think about it, this was perfectly schemed up, called at the right time, and well executed from New Orleans. It just didn't matter because San Francisco's defense is just that good at knowing how to do this stuff and how to handle this stuff. This next play is one that this is the reason why I like Andy Dalton as a player. And I think that he's, he might still be a top 32 quarterback in football. I don't know if he's, I'm not saying you should go into the season saying he's going to be our starter, but there are things to like about Andy Dalton. Again, this is a guy who he made the playoffs 5 years in a row with the Bengals. I'm not saying it was because of him, but wasn't not because of him either. He was a fringe MVP candidate in that 5th year that they made the playoffs straight. Again, pay no attention to how they performed in the playoffs. That's a conversation for another day. I'm just saying he's not a trash quarterback. He is a guy who has some talent. And this play is one of the things that I like about Dalton is the fact that when things aren't going well, he's going to do what's best for the team. And what's best for the team here is, hey, guys aren't getting open. Okay, let's take some shots. Dalton takes the snap, and you're going to see that because of the way that this is working, you can throw it deep, let's see what happens, right? Nothing's happening. You're really struggling here. And if it's an incompletion, well, now you're going to have to punt the ball away anyway. So, kind of an arm punt, take a chance. I like it. Dalton throws it up and tries to make something happen, and it is going to end up falling incomplete there because of the good defense by San Francisco. So when you're trying to take shots, it's not working. When you're trying to scheme guys open, it's not working. You're in a tough spot when you can't get separation, and also you're playing a defense that has a bunch of guys with good ball skills and will knock the ball away. Also, let's go over to this play. We're going to talk about Fred Warner a little bit because, how can you make a defensive video about the Niners without talking about Fred Warner? This guy is an elite player. He's one of the best players in football, regardless of position. This guy is incredible and does not get enough credit. There's some debate as to how valuable is a linebacker really in today's NFL, and it's an interesting debate, but there's no denying that Fred Warner is insanely valuable. He is, if linebackers aren't valuable, he's an exception to the rule. I think that's fair to say. I think the elite guys still are valuable, and there's no question he is an elite guy. On this play, it's actually going to be a little bit of a mistake by the Saints, so I'm kind of hyping him up a little bit, more of a just thought in general, but, really, they have so many players on the line, they're going to end up playing a cover one blitz, but due to having, 5 guys who are rushing the passer and another 2 who are lined up on the line but will not be rushing the passer, it's going to kind of create an error where watch Fred Warner, the guy who I've circled in yellow, watch him just get through untouched and create an immediate pressure on Dalton. Again, this is not the main way that Fred Warner is valuable. It's usually in the coverage game that makes him, not just him, but the entire defense so much better. But he can also do stuff like this, which is part of his greatness. So he's creating a quick pressure on Dalton. And you see, what do you do here if you're Andy Dalton? I don't know. Typically in this spot, you want to get rid of the football quickly, 3rd down and short. But where do you go? I don't know. He sends up a prayer. It is going to fall incomplete. It wasn't a perfect throw, partially due to the pressure, but also, again, no one was getting open on that play. They had to settle for a field goal attempt, which they would obviously miss since we all know they got shut out. So again, it's just plays like this that are just deadly. Going over here, the Saints had this opportunity that could have been potentially a catch. It's going to be a man coverage play. You have Taysom Hill as the main guy. He's the one that you can see how the route can work against this type of man coverage. Dalton takes the snap. Dalton is going to get ready to fire in that direction. You see that there's a bit of leverage. This could work. Dalton fires this one up, and I couldn't tell if it looked like maybe it got tipped a little bit and then kind of bounced off Taysom Hill's helmet. So, again, good stuff from the 49ers, even on the best plays that we saw from the Saints this game where they're almost catches. That kind of goes to show how dominant of a performance this is, and with the way that their offense can get rolling at times, their defense is just as good, if not better. Again, some of the injuries the defense has had, that hurts. There's just no getting around it. Like, losing a starting corner, that's going to hurt your defense. I'm talking about how much coverage matters. Well, losing a starting corner makes coverage more difficult, but they're still doing a pretty good job. And if they can continue to do this pretty good job, that's kind of how they can, I think, be a real Super Bowl contender, which is totally within question. At least that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.